Hi, I welcome you all to this course on energy audit and management. Today, we'll discuss upon energy audit methodology. Energy management. First, see the definition of energy management and the objectives of energy management. So, energy management is the judicious and effective use of energy to maximize profits, of course, to minimize cost and enhance competitive positions, as per this Capehart and Turner Kennedy's definition. So, in order to achieve this effective use of energy to maximize the profit, so the objectives to do this, or objectives of this energy management is first to minimize energy cost or energy waste without affecting production and quality. Of course, you go for in energy management, you go for minimizing your existing energy uses, but at the same time, you have to look after you are not hampering the production quality as well as the quantity. The second objective of energy management is to minimize the environmental effects. Of course, while doing so, you have to take care of the environment. So this is all about energy management. So to achieve the various objectives of energy management, the procedure or the technical way of doing this is the energy audit. So as per the Energy Conservation Act 2001, the energy audit is defined as the verification, monitoring and analysis of the use of energy, including submission of technical report containing recommendations for improving energy efficiency with the cost benefit analysis and an action plan to reduce energy consumption. So you can divide this energy audit definition into three parts for the simplicity. First is the energy audit is the verification, monitoring and analysis of the use of energy. So verify, monitor and analyze the existing use of energy, then submit a technical report containing the recommendations for improving the energy efficiency with cost benefit analysis. So second thing is, after analyzing the energy consumption, you can have a technical report containing the energy efficiency improvement recommendations and cost benefit analysis. And third is the action plan to reduce energy consumption. So third, you can prepare the action plan for the implementations of the recommendations after conducting the energy audit. Here is the snapshot of Energy Conservation Act 2001, which is actually the act which leads to this legalizing the energy audit, or to make a mandatory to conduct or to have an energy audit of the industries, particularly the designated consumers. So I just show you the first page of this Energy Conservation Act, and this act was enacted in 29 September 2001. That's why it is called as the Energy Conservation Act 2001. For detail, you may refer Bureau of Energy Efficiency's website, or just go for Ministry of Power, Government of India's website for the detailed Energy Conservation Act. Now, need of energy audit. Okay, so of course, the need of the first primary objective of energy audit is to determine ways to reduce energy consumption per unit of product output or to lower operating cost. So primary objective is to reduce energy consumption of existing unit or existing facility in order to reduce the production cost. And energy audit provides a benchmark for managing energy in the organization, and also provides the basis for planning a more effective use of energy throughout the organization. So benchmark or reference point, energy audit, after verifying, monitoring and analyze the existing energy pattern, you can then set a benchmark energy consumption, like a benchmark cost. In case of cost, you may know that at the end you will find out how much rupees you required per unit of the product you are producing. Likewise, how much energy is required to produce that particular product, that benchmark you can set after conducting a detailed energy audit. And you this benchmark, it also helps you to compare your energy consumption of your industry with the same the industry which is producing the same product. So energy audit is like the chartered accountant is doing the audit of your financial total balance sheet. The energy audit is do the same thing, or energy auditor or an energy manager will do the same thing with respect to energy. So at the bottom, this energy pyramid is shown. This is only for to have a idea about how this energy saving will go. So first step in this is shown by energy pyramid. The first step in this direction is you go for the bottom, where energy conservation. So what you can do to save the energy is conserve it. Whatever energy you are using, first try to conserve it or save it. Second is energy efficiency. After energy conservation, after fixing all your leakages and all that energy wastage, you go for energy efficiency. You may replace your existing equipment, less efficient or old equipment, with the newer one and more efficient equipment, like a non-star rated refrigerator with the 4 or 5 star refrigerator, air conditioner, and other appliances. And lastly, you go for more greener option, that is renewable energy. So if possible, try to switch to these renewable energy sources, so that you can reduce your energy consumption bill and also you can have a less environmental emissions. Then types of energy audit. The energy audit is the type of energy audit, it depends on the following three important parameters. First, function and type of industry whose energy audit you have to conduct, depth to which final audit is needed, and potential and magnitude of cost reduction desired. So these three are important aspects which actually decides which type of audit you are going to conduct. So type of industry, how big, how small, which type of industry, manufacturing, service industry, that that decides the type of audit you have to conduct. Then depth to which final audit is needed, it depends on the existing practices, the existing various important utilities in that industry, the condition, age of these in the utilities, and potential and magnitude of cost reduction. And this depends on the management decision. How much they are willing to achieve in terms of cost reduction, of course. And the types of energy audits or the energy audit is divided into two types based on these three parameters. First is preliminary energy audit, and second one is detailed audit. As the name implies, preliminary, it is of course a preliminary audit. It is in short time span and with less equipment and all, with less manpower, you will conduct this preliminary audit. And for detailed energy audit, you require some actual measurement or field testings to conduct this detailed audit. Let us see in detail what is preliminary audit and what is detailed audit. So first, let us start with preliminary energy audit. So preliminary energy audit is a relatively quick exercise. As the name implies, it is a preliminary audit. So this audit first establish energy consumption in the organization. For first thing it will do is it will find out how much energy your industry is consuming. Then second, estimate. Of course, for that they refer the electricity bill. The second is estimate the scope for saving. From that they can, of course, with the auditor's experience and while talking with some managers in the industry, they estimate the scope for saving. Then identify the most likely and the easiest areas for attention. When they have a walkthrough in that industry, they can identify some areas where you can likely to be saved the energy. Identify the immediate no or low cost improvement savings. So while conducting or while when the auditor or manager have a walkthrough in your industry, he will immediately identify some areas like suppose compressor is leaking through some pipes, then oil is leaking. Such type of easily identifiable options he will look after. Then set a reference point from whatever data he gathered after walkthrough and what after referring the electricity bill, he will set some reference point. Then identify areas for more detailed study or measurement. There are some utilities where you require the actual data. So auditor may go for or identify such areas where you may need some more testing. And last, preliminary energy audit uses existing or easily obtainable data. As I told you, this is a walkthrough, and this exercise you need to complete in a very quick time. So it uses existing or easily obtainable data from the operators of the machines, from the managers. So mostly the data in preliminary audit is obtained from the industry itself. Industry whose audit you have to conduct, not by the actual measurements. So this is the actual difference between preliminary audit and detailed audit. Of course, there are certain disadvantages of doing having using the existing data. Sometimes we know that the existing data by the operator, or sometimes the industry is manipulating that to avoid some penalties from the state electricity boards or some government penalties. So the reliability and the correctness of the data is most of the time is in question mark. So preliminary, that's why preliminary energy audit, the auditor needs to be careful while giving some suggestions, and that's why the mostly their focus is on easily identifiable measures only. And for the detail, they may ask for you for some conducting the detailed study or measurements. Then they will conclude about the energy saving. That's why preliminary energy audit is the very basic or you can say that the preliminary energy audit just give you just open the door of conducting the detailed energy audit. Now detailed energy audit is of course once preliminary audit is conducted, and if industry and the management is convinced that the detailed energy audit is required in order to save the energy and of course finally the cost, then they go for detailed energy audit. So detailed energy audit is a very comprehensive audit which provides a detailed energy project implementation plan for facility, since it evaluates all major energy using systems. That is very important. This is a comprehensive audit. It covers all the important energy utilities, energy consuming utilities. So this type of audit offers the most accurate estimate of energy savings and cost, because it actually conducts the test and it actually measures the energy consumption of various utilities. So it is the most accurate type of energy saving and cost recommendations it will provide. It considers the interactive effects of all projects, account for the energy uses of all the major equipment, and includes detailed energy cost saving calculation and project cost. In a comprehensive audit, one of the key elements is the energy balance. This estimated use is then compared to utility bill charges. Detailed energy audit is carried out in 3 phases: phase 1, 2 and 3. So phase 1 is the pre-audit phase, phase 2 is the audit phase, and phase 3 is the post-audit phase. Now let us see one by one how to conduct detailed energy audit in 3 phases. So this is the 10-step methodology to conduct detailed energy audit as per the Bureau of Energy Efficiency's guidelines. So this 10-step methodology is a very comprehensive way of conducting energy audit, and it will cover all the aspects of energy monitoring, verification and analysis. So first is the first phase is the pre-phase audit, pre-audit phase, sorry. So in pre-audit phase, in step 1, plan of action is plan and organize, walk through audit, informal interview with energy manager, production and plant manager. And purpose of this actions, plan of actions is to to have a resource planning, establish and organize the energy audit team. This is very important aspect, as to conduct a detailed energy audit, you required various uh, inputs from the operator to the top of the management. So resource planning inside the industry, as well as the auditor also needs to find out the team he wish to take into the industry to conduct the energy audit. Then organize instruments and time frame. After conducting the walkthrough into the industry, the auditor will understand the nature of the instruments and utilities in the industry, and accordingly he will decide which instrument he will require and how much time it will take to take readings or actual measurements. Then macro data collection, suitable to as per depending upon the industry, he may go for some the macro level data. Then familiarization of process and plant activities. When the auditor have a walkthrough in the industry, he will get the idea about various processes in the industry. And then first hand observation and assessment of the current level of operation and current practices. So this is the purpose of this step 1. In step 2, to conduct a brief meeting and awareness program with the all division heads and persons concerned. 2 to 3 hours of training is recommended. And in this meeting or awareness program, the aim is to build up a cooperation, issue questionnaire for each department, and orientation and awareness creation. This is a very important step, as the various persons working in the industry, they are not aware of what is the activities and what is the purpose of that activity. And in order to create awareness about this activity, so these brief meetings and awareness programs are very crucial. Then second phase is the actual audit phase, which is the audit phase. In step 3, primary data gathering, process flow diagram and energy utility diagram. This is the plan of action. And what in this, you will go for historic data analysis, baseline data collection, then prepare process flow charts. Various after understanding the process of the industry, you prepare auditor will prepare a process flow charts. Then all service utility system diagram, like a single line power distribution diagram, water, compressor, steam distribution, all the networking, you may have a diagram for the utilities. Then design operating data and schedule of the operation. This is very important to have for the conducting the actual testing on the instrument. Then annual energy bill and energy consumption pattern. For that, refer manual, log sheet and nameplate, interview with the actual operators on the field. So this is the third step. In fourth step, conduct survey and monitoring. In this step, the actual measurements are taken, like motor survey, insulation lighting survey with portable instruments for collection of more and accurate data. So for motor survey, you go for the actual current and voltage consumption. Then insulation and lighting surveys, insulation testing of steam lines or the chilled water lines. Then lighting survey of portable lighting, same for the lighting, existing wattage of the various luminaries. Then confirm and compare this operating data with the design data. So this is the step 4. In step 5, conduct detailed trials or experiment for selected energy guzzlers. Clear? So for a few of the energy guzzlers, you have to actually perform a trials. So which these trials may be of 24 hours power monitoring trial, in which the maximum demand power factor kWh readings you can they take. And in second, load variation trends in pumps, fan, compressor, etc. Other energy, the very big guzzlers, compressor, boilers. For this, you can plan and actually conduct trials in step 5. Step 6 is analysis of energy use. After conducting a detailed trials, you may go for the analysis of the data you have collected. So and from that you may uh, done the energy balance analysis as well as material balance is also. So like in case of sugar industry, how much sugar cane is uh, came into the industry as a raw material and what is the final product as a sugar. So such type of mass balance is also important in order to find out the wastage energy as well as material wastage. Step 7 is identification and development of energy conservation opportunities. So in this step, after detailed analysis of energy use in step 6, this step 7 is very easy because this is nothing but the result of analysis done at step 6. So at this step, identification and consolidation of energy conservation measures, conceive, develop and refine ideas, review previous ideas suggested by unit personnel, review the previous ideas suggested by the energy audit if any, use brainstorming and value analysis technique, and contact vendors for new and efficient technology. So this is a very crucial steps, and these steps actually helps to prepare a detailed energy audit. So cost benefit analysis, whatever recommendations and outcomes you will get after doing the all energy and mass balance. So then you have to find out the cost feasibility of the ideas you are going to recommended, various energy conservation ideas known as income. So these energy conservation ideas you have to check for its technical and economic viability, and you have to also prioritize the energy conservation idea. Then select the most promising projects and prioritize by low, medium and long-term measures. Then step 9 is reporting and presentation to top management. After doing all these analysis, the important step is proper documentation of whatever the things you have done and whatever the outcomes of that assignment. Then report presentation to top management is also important in order to convince them regarding the various measures you are actually propose. So it is the top management who will take a final call regarding with which energy conservation recommendations they are going to implement and which are not. Of course, the decision is mainly based on two factors: the technical feasibility and economic viability. And lastly, last 10th step, which comes under the phase 3, which is the post-audit phase, implementation and follow-up. When the auditor submits his reports and with energy conservation recommendations, and the top management is decided to implement these recommendations, then energy auditor needs to assist them for implementation of these energy conservation measures and monitor the performance, whatever the targets he or whatever energy saving targets he proposed, and actual after implementing this recommendation, what is the actual energy saving he is going to achieve. So action plan, schedule for implementation and follow-up or periodic review is very important for the success of this, which is actually closes this cycle. Clear? And the most important thing while conducting the detailed energy audit is do not estimate when you can calculate and do not calculate when you can measure. So measurement is a very important thing which will give you the real time and accurate data. Then few of the steps I have just quickly give the idea of what you have to do in this particular thing, a 10-step methodology. So one of the aspect is preparation of the flow chart. So this example of flow chart of penicillin G manufacturing plant shows that various processes, that germinator, pre-fermenter, fermenter, non-filter broth, filter press, extraction, and along with that, on the left hand side, the energy balance, total energy in and out from the to the various processes is given, and on the right hand side, raw material required for each and every process is also given. And while preparing this process flow diagram, you can find out that where you require steam, chilled water and compressed air, and where condensate is coming out and at what temperature. Then on the right hand side you will find where you require raw material is in and what is your waste is coming out of that process. And likewise you can also find out by your visual observation. Suppose you will find in fermented section lots of steam is leaking, so you can also mark that in that particular process. So this will definitely help you while conducting the audit. Then technical and economic feasibility, this is a very important aspect, because merely giving the energy recommendations will not help. These recommendations should be tested for its technical technology availability, space, skill, manpower to operate the new machinery, utilities, reliability and service. Then impact of energy efficiency measure on safety, quality, production process is also important. The maintenance requirements and spares availability is very important, because newer energy efficient machine sometimes the maintenance and spares is not readily available because the technology is quite new. So these the aspects you have to consider. And when the auditor will propose this, he has the recommend energy conservation recommendations, he has to also check for its economic viability. So economic viability is also it is given that to prepare while preparing the economic feasibility, has to check the investment required for the equipment, civil work, instrumentation, auxiliaries, then annual operating cost, cost of capital, manpower, energy, which is operating cost, and finally annual saving, which we are actually getting. And based on that, you can quickly calculate the net saving per year, and finally the payback period for your recommendation. Then energy conservation priority guideline is also given by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. So the low cost are the high return, medium cost, medium return, and high cost is of course high return measures. So for that, priority A, B, C, D is categorized into 4. A is good, B is a maybe, C is a held or on hold, and D is no, completely rejected. So project is, if you have to check that project is economically feasible, technical feasible, risk and feasibility is also you have to check. And based on that, if it qualify in all three aspects, it is good. If it is in between, it may be. And if it is poorly defined, economically existing technology is inadequate and doubtful about the risk, then you have to hold that project. And if it is not economically attractive, no major breakthrough in technical aspects and no feasibility, just reject that project. So this is the project priority guideline you have to find out after conducting detailed energy audit. And energy audit reporting is very important. So after successful carrying out energy audit, energy auditor or manager should report to top management for effective communication and implementation. So this is one of the report format is given. So in order to make your case strong, and energy top management will get convinced and they will readily give green signal to go for this project. So this energy audit reporting consists of the first title of recommendation, like in this case it is combined digiset cooling tower with main cooling tower. The cooling tower load redistribution is given, and then second brief description about existing system and its operation. Then your proposed system and operation you have to say. Then energy saving calculations you have to show. Finally power drawn by the tower, means actual the calculation part. And finally cost benefit. So this cost benefit is attractive, should be attractive. And finally simple payback period, and if management get convinced, that then the project gets approved. Okay, so with this I conclude today's session on energy audit methodology. Thank you all for your attention. Thank you.